All right. See who turns up and who shows up. Hit the like button if you're on your way in here, man. I'm on my lunch. And some news broke. Well, I don't know if it's news. Well, it's news, right? Lenoris, what's up? Raymond, what's going on? I don't know if it's news or he backtracked. But I'm gonna just speak my piece on it, and just speak my. I'm gonna just speak my piece, and we'll see. Dang, I dropped off for a second, but I should be back. Yeah, I won't waste no more of everybody's time. You coming in late? Let me know. We'll rehash it. So Sam McCall, our Sam McCall, decided. Uh, he released a, what are we calling them? A portal note where he said he intended to hit the portal, and then I don't know, 10 minutes later, backtracked, said it was an emotional outburst. It's still goal nose. So he basically retracted the whole I intend to hit the portal thing. Uh, that's a tough situation to kind of gauge. I'm gonna continue to watch it and see where this thing goes. He's put his name out there, right? He's put his name out there. Whatever his reasoning is, he's not getting something. I have speculations. We'll talk about speculations and where do we go, I guess. Should we be worried? Is it just a blip on the radar? I don't know, man. It's like, man, we can't enjoy nothing. 45-3, and yet here we are Monday talking about some, we should be talking about after 45-3. Hell, we should be talking about somebody committing. As far as I'm concerned, we shouldn't be talking about one of our um, more important young pieces deciding after not even a full year on campus to potentially want to explore his options elsewhere. But why is that? Why do we think that is? And uh, what can they do to maybe rectify it? I don't know. I don't know. I'm glad to see some Miami fans show up here and give congrats. Um, but of course, the title of the video is something negative, so of course they would show up. But shout out to Big Kane, and I believe Mark is also a Miami fan. Um, so yeah, Sam McCall, man, he originally on Instagram, I believe, he put out that he was gonna hit the portal, and then he backtracked it, deleted it, then he tweeted something to the effect of it was emotional. Um, and then he also Instagrammed something else, a picture of him saying it's not confirmed yet, and prayer hands. So a lot of kind of to dissect there and look into. Um, by all means, put your thoughts in the comments, and then I'll tell y'all what I feel. But go ahead, man. Put your comments in the chat. And but that's the gist of why I'm making the lunchtime video. Um, Boxing Monster says he's sick of the little divas. Terrence is like, chill. Everyone who wants to transfer is a diva now. Um, he is a safety, Big Kane. He's a DB. He's a safety slash corner, I guess. To me, he's a D. To me, he's a safety. Always has been. Um, let's just get to it. To my opinion. So let's not jump the gun. He hasn't, and nothing's official. I mean, Miami fans just went through this with Knighton a couple weeks ago, right? Knighton was going to hit the transfer portal. And then shortly later, or shortly thereafter, he retracted it. Also, I believe Knighton also said it was an emotional outburst. A Miami fan in the chat can correct me if I'm wrong. But Knighton came out and was like, "Oh, that was emotional." So, and obviously he played the next game. He played after not getting one snap against Virginia. He was the only offensive player that really showed up. Not counting Ja'Curry. I'll give Ja'Curry credit because they forced him into a situation that he wasn't prepared for. But Knighton, had some big runs, albeit with the backups in the game. But he still came to play, and the limited opportunities that he got. Um, so it's very similar situations. So as you can see, these kids can be fickle at times. But to really speak on Sam, before I kind of speak on it, this is what I want to say to Florida State fans and just football fans in general when it comes to the transfer portal. It's a new day and age. These things are going to continue to happen. I want to be clear. We cannot berate or come down on these young men because they have these feelings. You got to think 10, 15, 20 years ago, this wasn't a thing, but don't think that these conversations didn't happen. It just social media wasn't a part of the game. You don't think freshmen have always felt like, man, I came here, I'm not getting used, I want to hit the portal? Those conversations have always happened. Those freshman blues always come up. Guys are away from family. They're not potentially playing the way they've wanted to play, not getting maybe the opportunities that they've thought they were going to get. So these things happen, right? These conversations happen. They've always happened. The caveat here is now when they feel these ways, they go to social media to express their feelings, and maybe they do jump the gun a little bit on maybe they jump the gun and they don't, where normally those conversations would happen in private or between a coach or between players, now they're happening on social media. And it's hard for these kids now to backtrack. Once you put that out there, Sam and other players that are going to do this, understand it's hard to backtrack. But with that said, let's not, again, berate because everybody leaves for a different reason. I don't know Sam's reason. I'm gonna get to that in a minute, but I really want to touch on the fact that we can't applaud things when it goes our way, and then call people quitters when it goes the opposite way. If we land the Marius Mims, we're celebrating, we're having a party. But Georgia fans are gonna what? Call him a quitter. Oh, he quit on Georgia. Why didn't you just stay and wait your time and develop? You were going to get a chance. And for a Florida State fan, if that would have happened, obviously, oh, yeah, man, come over here. You the man. You finna be great. This is a two-sided coin in every situation. One fan base is going to feel like the guy's quitting. The other fan base is going to feel like, man, they're getting a quality player. You feel me? Whatever Sam is seeking, he's obviously not getting it here. Now, does that come with being patient? Does that come with whatever it is? I don't know what he's seeking. Sam McCall has been an upstanding kid the time he's been in Tallahassee. Okay, he's not somebody that's caused issues. He hasn't called out coaches. He hasn't gone on, he's not, hate to say this, but he's not conducting himself like another former DB we had that transferred out the program. You guys know who I'm talking about. I won't even say his name. Pretty sure someone will put it in the comments. So, whatever he's seeking, I hope he finds. I'm not ready to jump the gun. I think he is having those freshman blues. You feel me? I think he saw, if somebody correct me if I'm wrong, he might be feeling some type of way that in the blowout, they didn't put him in the game. They put AZ in the game. Now, AZ's locked in the DB rotation regardless. But that safety room is deep. We said this from the beginning of the season. You feel me? We said this from the jump. He hasn't cracked that safety rotation. You got 2 all ACC caliber safeties. Then behind him, you got a senior in McClellan. Then you got Shaheen Brown, who's now deep in that safety rotation. And every time we've talked about number 38. Every time 38's on the field, he flashes. Every time 38's on the field, he's around the football. He has a nose for the ball. That's 4 players right there. That doesn't count Sidney Williams, who's played a bunch of snaps and looked like before his injury, Sidney was going to be maybe one of the starters at safety, right? Sam always had a tough hill to climb in that safety room. It's one of the reasons why I think they listed him as a corner to start the season. The problem is I never thought he was a corner. I don't think he is a corner. And you were kind of trying to force a round peg into a square hole, as they say. My speculation as we move on to that, I think Sam probably wants to play more. Right? I think Sam wants to play more. I think Sam, I don't know. I heard some people saying he's crying out for an NIL. I don't get that. I don't know. This is all speculation. He could be trying to, maybe he wants an NIL deal. There's just so much to go off of. And quite frankly, you know what it all could boil down to? It ain't got to be any of those things. It could boil down to the fact that maybe he doesn't fit. He's a 5-star. You can argue this point or not, but maybe Sam just doesn't fit, or maybe he feels like he doesn't fit with the defense. It's possible. This is not going to be a Sam McCall criticism or bashing video, because I believe Sam has the right to make that decision. Again, we can't be happy when guys want to come here out of the portal. We don't call them quitters when they want to transfer to Florida State. We don't call Jermaine Johnson, Jamie Robinson, Keir Thomas, Tatum Bethune. We don't call any of those guys quitters. We love them. Let's not call Sam a quitter because he wants to explore his options, maybe. And again, he might have had an outburst. He might be telling the truth 100% and had an outburst and decided maybe he talked to some people, maybe talked to the coaches, maybe talked with his family, his mother, and backtrack, right? All these things are a possibility. It's just worth having a conversation about, because it definitely wasn't something I expected to see this morning. If we were terrible, this I don't think would come off as a surprise, but we're 6-3, bowl eligible. We've just put up 40 plus points in the last 2 balls. We've just blown out 2 teams straight, decimated Miami, like just castrated them. I don't think this is what we thought we'd be seeing on this Monday, but here we are. So give Sam time, let him get his thoughts together, and if he still feels that way, I would just ask Florida State fans, again, for a kid who hasn't been a headache, hasn't been a problem child, hasn't been, any of those things, all I would simply say is wish him his best if he decides to go elsewhere. and wish him success wherever he goes. But let's not decide to demonize him for making the best choice that he feels for him. Um, that's kind of my take on it. I'm not. Um, I would be upset. Like Sam's the guy I want here. Sam's the guy that I think has a bright future, but these kids got to develop. We're in a society, and some of us as fans are guilty with it with Mike Norvell. If we're being honest, we want instant success, and because sometimes we see, I mean, I'm guilty of it. I've been like, man, I'm looking around the country and like Mike and his contemporaries are doing a little better than him, right? So I've criticized that in the past, but at the end of the day, just like the coaches and just like these players, they got to develop, they got to get better. What Sam is right now doesn't mean that's what Sam's going to be in a year or two. I know y'all have been hard on Sam. I haven't. On the kickoff stuff. I think Mike Norvell and staff has done their best to try to integrate Sam into the ball, into being a factor at Florida State. If we're being honest, we had better options at kick return. You've seen it with Trey Benson. If we're being honest, you could have probably threw Micah Pittman back there at kick return. You could probably throw some other guys back there. But they gave Sam that opportunity. Whether he was successful in it or not, we can all have our opinions on that. But it's not like they recruited him and then threw him to the wayside. They tried their best to kind of integrate him with where they feel he's at as a player right now. My thing to Sam, if I could talk to him personally, would just be patient. If playing time is the issue, if your role on the team is the issue, again, that's an if, because I don't know. It could be something deeper than that. We don't know why Sam feels the way he feels. But if it's a playing thing, be patient because your time will come. You can be one of the cornerstones in that secondary. It doesn't have to be right away. Doesn't have to be right away. So that's really my thoughts. I'll read some of y'all's thoughts. See what y'all talking about. Let me scroll up, see what some of y'all are talking about. Boxing Monster says he's crying out for attention. He got moved to safety. He can't return kickoffs, and now Thomas is getting more shots. Sick of these little boys playing a man's game. Joe says he knows what he's doing. He's either trying to get attention from coaches or see what teams would send interest his way. So some of y'all think he's playing a game, not necessarily playing, not being authentic, and that he's just seeking attention. So again, we all got opinions, right? Everything. Are talking about Jalen? Yep. I'm not even about to entertain you. Redshirting is a good thing. I don't understand why guys don't think they need to redshirt. Bro, learn a position, work your ass off, and earn your spot. Period. If you don't want to work for it, best of luck to you. Jeremiah says, I hope he doesn't transfer. I trust nobody has a plan, so I'm not. Yeah, I'm not worried either. This isn't about being worried about the team. I don't think you can look at any. Can we legitimately look at any transfer that we've lost and said that was a huge blow to the roster? If there's one thing that I've applauded Mike, and that's his use of the portal with getting guys and letting guys walk. I don't think you can name one player at another team that you would go, yeah, man, I wish we still had him. I mean, can you name him? Because I struggle to think of one player that we've lost to the portal that I would go, man, I wish he was still in a Florida State uniform. So it's not about the team. I don't worry about the team either. I more so worry about the young man. And sometimes this isn't about what some of y'all are saying. It could be, and I could be off base and wrong. Y'all could be right. And sometimes it's not about seeking attention or this and that. Sometimes these kids are human beings, bro, and some of us have emotions. And some of us are older in there. do you remember the first time you left home for the first time and how you may have felt? Because I remember when I first joined the military, when I left home, and some of the rush of emotions I felt being in a new place with people I didn't know and people talking to you a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? So, Shona says he might be homesick. What's up, Irv? I think Sam will play more next year too. That's what. Yeah, I mean, he definitely will have a bigger role going forward. There's no doubt. He's a young, talented kid. Some of them can't wait that long, or they think they can't wait that long. Irv says, I think we just want to know what the problem with Sam, and if he wants to leave, then that's fine. I agree. Just want some clarity. I agree with that. I'm not, and he don't owe us any clarity. To be clear, he don't owe us anything. But that's why I said I'm still watching the situation. I would like to know what it is. But what's up, FSU Tony? Yeah, no, he was just on BMAC show before the Miami game. He was just on that show. So you can't blame Mike Norvell or the university for not putting a spotlight on Sam. Right? It's not like he's buried on the depth chart and no one knows or hears from him. The man, as a true freshman, was just on the BMAC show, Brian McFadden's show, getting interviewed. And he's not even a starter. Like, they could have used that spot for Jared Verse. They could have used that spot for Jordan Travis. But no, your freshman safety is on that show, not your starting quarterback, not your starting running back, not a Johnny Wilson. You feel me? So the staff set that up. Like, they set that up. They allowed that interview to happen. So definitely, and I haven't seen anybody blame Mike and company, but I know those comments will eventually be coming. You can't blame the staff for not presenting Sam in a positive light, so to speak. What's up, Randy? Lord knows I don't want him to leave, especially to a team that is our rivals or we play regularly. I agree with that. These kids today couldn't sit for 5 minutes if life depended on it. Why transfer when you next up? Would y'all really want Lars Woodbay back? Because I don't see it. Just my opinion, right? Just my opinion. We've beaten Woodbay, twice? 2 or 3 times since he's left. Twice for sure, because I know we played him last year and this year. I don't remember if we played. Did we play Boston College in the COVID season? We might have. I don't remember. Who would Woodbay? I mean, I guess for depth purposes, but again, no knock on Woodbay, but I don't think we've missed him. Once it hit social media, I agree. Once it hit social media, like, that's when these conversations start. Y'all remember Matthew Thomas wanted to leave Florida State early in his career too, if y'all don't remember. So this isn't some unforeseen thing. Like, this happens. Matthew Thomas wanted to leave Florida State when he first got here too. I don't know if y'all remember that, but he wanted to be out. What's up, Chad? How you doing? We talking about Sam. He released the transfer portal note this morning. Then he deleted it, took it back. Says he jumped the gun, got emotional. We're waiting to see how this ends. And this could be something that probably doesn't end anytime soon. It could end quickly, or he could take this into the offseason and then go from there. We'll see. I wouldn't want Woodbay back. Again, not a knock on Woodbay. I just don't see where he improves our football team. As a safety, he's not better than Jamie. He's not better than Dent. Again, maybe as a depth piece, but again, I only bring that up because who's the portal guy that we've lost that y'all would say, man, I wish he was still wearing garnet and gold? Did Sam? That's a good question. I'm not sure. That could be another reason why he didn't play against Miami. How many games has McCall had on kick returns? If he's at that 4-game mark, that's probably a reason why they decided we're not going to put Sam out there against Miami. We want to save him. And I'm pretty sure that he's had a conversation with the coaches if that's the case. What's up, BB? And Tyler says he'd be shocked if McCall came back. I hear you. I hear you. I'm not even reading that box. Oh, man. McCall's already played 6 games, has he? Well, if he's already played 6 games, then has he played 6 games? He might have. If he's already played 6 games, then you know that then yeah, the red shirt's out the window. Tim says he wouldn't be shocked. He said he'd actually be shocked if he does leave. Cromartie told McCall, "Come to Miami." FSU took red shirt returning kicks. Now Benson returned kicks. You think that's what happened? Cromartie told McCall to come. Cromartie told McCall, "Hey, come to Miami. Even though y'all just beat them boys 45-3, go ahead and come to Miami, bro. Not build on what y'all have already started at Florida State." I mean, Cromartie's free to do whatever he wants to do. But he told Sam, "Yeah, come to the team that y'all just beat by 42. Yeah, come over here." Might have. I don't disagree with y'all. But again, we're talking as a bunch of older people. That's not what they do. Like, I don't disagree that, yeah, definitely talk it out with, absolutely you do that. But we're in 2022. And we have a month left in 2022? Bro, in 2023, 2022, 2023, that's not how these young dudes operate. They go to social media first. They don't think. If we just being honest, they don't think. They go to social media first and then backtrack. Sam's not the first one to do this. We just talked about Jalen Knight and just did it a couple weeks ago. And there's a ton of other representation. I mean, Amarius Mims actually hit the portal and then went back to Georgia. Like, these things happen on a regular basis. I know they're friends. I know they're friends. Bro, no cap, every time I saw him on the sideline, I was like, damn. I don't agree. If you actually go watch the game back, Sam McCall got a lot of camera time, but he was on the sidelines and he did not look engaged. I agree with that, Loveless. If you actually go back and watch the game, Sam did not look engaged on the sidelines for a team that was blowing the rivals out. Again, what does that mean? Why does he feel the way he feels? Have no idea. Have no idea. Water boys at Miami get $15K. Who cares? Team first, guys. Well, again, there's more layers than a lot of this, you know. McCall could have got meaningful snaps at safety. It's not like our back end has been rock solid. They could have gave him reps. Over who? It's only a finite amount of snaps in a football game. Your 2 starters are going to play a majority of the reps. Shaheem Brown has to be in the rotation because he's probably the 3rd best safety you got on the roster. So now the question is Shaheem Brown is either paired with Dent or Jamie at all times because he's still a young player. So now my question becomes, who do you take off the field out of those 3 to then include Sam in the rotation? Yeah, he did it too. You're absolutely right, Joe. Remember after the FSU game, that man, he wanted out too. It just happens. I believe Sam will be a partner with Shaheem if he plays. Will be in rotation with AZ Duke if he plays. I don't think he plays corner. They got to make eventually. They got to make that move to wherever he's playing. Wherever that is, he has to get that permanent move. Sam's got to be better than Jones. I mean, I talked about this. Y'all know me. I be getting on Jones, but I ain't had nothing to say about Jerry and Jones the last few weeks. When's the last time you seen Jerry and Jones' number get called for something negative? It's been a while, Purple. It's been a while. It's all part of program building. Versus Bethune said they're having the best times of their lives on this team. Deuce had a bad reaction. Jermaine tweeted about similar situation while here and how much he appreciate. And some guys, Briley, are just more mature to handle certain situations, and some guys need that. Bethune and Verse are also been in college a little longer, so they're a little bit more mature. Sam's literally a year from high school. So what's up, Matthew? McCall's not playing over J. Rob, Dan, or Shaheem. Agreed. So when fans say McCall should be playing, I simply that's my rebuttal as well, Myron. And it's not a knock on McCall, but who are you taking out of the game to put Sam in over? It's okay to develop. Shaheem needed to develop. All these guys need to develop. It's okay. I mean, Duke, Kevin, AZ, Shaheem, McCall is the best DBs we got on the team, in my opinion. Go knows the McCall info is just disappointing after a big win. I agree. Just hope he has a little patience. I'm with you there. Jones had a penalty that put Canes. Did he? I don't remember that. Not saying you're right or I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't remember. I guess I don't know if you were right, but I'm not gonna debate with you about Jerry and Jones today, Timmy. I promise you, I'm not. Shout out to Jerry. I haven't had to cuss him out because we'll see. He's young. Might be people around him telling him, why ain't you out there? Oh, that's true too. You don't know who's in his ear. You feel me? Like you said, he's young. You could have, that could be people be like, bro, why you should be out there playing? People from home. His homeboys maybe at other schools, man, you should be out there, man. You better than such and such and such and such. You never know. I said that I'm curious to why he didn't play against Miami. I think Sam, if that red shirt's gone, I don't see why you don't. At this point, I don't see why you don't play him. Don't see why you don't play him. What's up, Zay? Call head up, Pope. Don't overlook Syracuse and let's cook. If Schrader don't play, I'm overlooking Cuse. I'm not gonna lie to you. If Schrader don't play, I'm overlooking Cuse and Louisiana. We go into Florida comes into Tallahassee. We 8-3 going for 9-3. Without Schrader, they don't have a chance to score enough points. Also, I believe their D-line got banged up. I told y'all, man, and I'm going to talk more about this on Wednesday when we kind of preview Syracuse, but I told y'all 3 weeks ago, the Syracuse team we play will not be the Syracuse team that started off 5 or 6-0 or whatever it was. Quarterback gone. They got multiple injuries on the defensive side of the ball. They're banged up. They played the toughest stretch of their schedule. They're not the same team, just like we called. I don't think they've won a game since we've said that. So, not too worried about Cuse, man, if I'm being honest. You keep saying who will we take out the game to give them a call some reps, as if our safeties have been just. It's not about them being amazing. It's about them being ready to play football. See, this is what y'all do. Y'all say y'all want the young kids, and then the young kid goes out there and he gets burnt or he gets a bad rep, and now, he's trash. He's overrated. There's a reason why Sam's not playing, because everybody that's over him knows the playbook. At least, bro, you can't really knock the defense that's a top 25 defense. Like, y'all always want the young players, but don't want what comes with playing young players. Who you taking out? Answer that. That's all I'm asking. Who you taking out to have Sam get burned? Especially in some of these critical games. Now, could he maybe have played against Georgia Tech or Miami? Sure, you could have got him some burn there, but kind of off topic. Jones has not been bad this year. I think fans are used to picking on him at this point. I don't say nothing bad about him no more. McClain told him they both will start at Miami. Yeah, that McClain don't know if he gonna start at Miami. So good luck with that. McClain don't know if he's gonna start at Miami. You can be as talented as you want. You still an 18-year-old going against 20 and 21, 22-year-old, 2-year-old players. I mean, good luck. Cromartie ain't nothing but 170 pounds himself. Like Dion in his ear. Now that would be crazy. That would be insane. And I don't put it past him. He is better than our safeties playing. Dion strikes again. If Q's QB, we going into that UF game. Yeah, we might blow out Syracuse. I'm actually kind of with you there, Kusami. If he don't play, and I was just about to say, he could have thought in his head that someone he thought was, and as good as him is playing or playing more than him. Yeah, I know how it goes. Sometimes you also got to trust the process. Travis Hunter in his ear can take care of. Travis Hunter ain't barely playing at Jackson State, but that's because he's been hurt. He's a 5-star. At least give him a shot. You barely see him in blowouts. We've only blown out 3 teams. Duquesne, he played. Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech and Miami, I don't think he played. I mean, I don't know. Hell, Mario don't know if he's gonna start at Miami, right? AZ needs, but AZ is actually solidly in the rotation, the DB rotation. Cromartie and Ennis were trolling Miami. Ennis was definitely trolling them. Well, Cromartie's actually committed to them, so I don't know why he would troll them. But Ennis was definitely trolling them. Me and you don't disrespect them boys down there like that, Zay. I think that Keyshawn Helton will play against Louisiana. What you think? It'd be cool to see him get out there. It'd be cool to see him get out there. I'm all about doing right by these kids, but damn it, they need to do right by the school, coaches, and the team. I love it. I love Woody moving officially to D-line. Absolutely ecstatic about that. Ennis was trolling y'all, Zay. Don't pretend like he wasn't. And that's okay. That boy probably staying at Ohio State. I didn't see where Cromartie is trolling y'all, unless he thinks that the commitment is a troll. Everyone sees them stars, and that's what I'm saying. Everybody see these stars and be like, "Yep, stars mean great players." Well, I'll tell you this: go ask Miami about them stars. Leonard Taylor is supposed to be the next Warren Sapp. The man didn't record one stat against Florida State. Offensive line dominated a former 5-star D tackle. Yeah, Leonard Taylor got in his bag against the likes of Virginia, but when he played the big boys, didn't record one stat. James Williams, 5-star, freak. I mean, I was a fan of James Williams when he came out of high school. You don't too often see 6'5", 230, and that can move in space like he does. Ask any Miami fan. Kid's been a disappointment. Not as good as the hype. These 5-stars don't mean nothing, bro, when you get around grown men. And we call them kids because we're a little bit older. Jared Verse is a grown-ass man. Fabian Levin's a grown-ass man. Johnny Wilson's a grown-ass man. Like, we call them kids. Them stars don't mean nothing when you line up across grown men. Dylan Gibbons is a grown man. That's why Leonard Taylor couldn't do nothing with him. Demetri Manuel's a grown man. That's why Leonard Taylor couldn't do nothing with him. The staff has done just about everything they could to carve out a role. Well, I agree wholeheartedly with this comment, Briley. They've done everything, even maybe to the detriment of the team. We all can admit, and I am a Sam supporter, but we can all admit he wasn't the best option at kickoff. But they wanted him to feel engaged, wanted to put him on the field, so they gave him kickoff duties, and it's been lackluster. They didn't have to do that. Benson's first kickoff he takes to the house. We know who should be returning kicks for us, and it's okay. Like you said, no one's entitled to playing time. If he really wants to go, I agree. So be it. I hold no ill will, but we can't pretend like this staff hasn't done everything they can, from getting them on national TV and the BMX show to putting them on kickoff when they probably was better options. It's not like the staff didn't give him every opportunity to keep him engaged while also trying to develop him for the role that he's rightly supposed to have. But now we think because he's a 5-star, just throw him out there at safety. Okay. I think Cuse is going to get everything they can to make sure Schrader plays against us. It would be wise. They definitely will prepare for him. No reason why you don't prepare for him. But at one point, I think they were saying Schrader was done for the year. Maybe they might be backtracking that. That could be another TVD situation there where I hope they don't try to force a guy back that shouldn't be playing. Won't end well for them. Off topic, Woody, talked about that a little earlier. I love it. I know Cromartie asked him how was the game when they both were at the game. Does Alabama even start 5-star freshmen? Maybe Bryce Young. And I think Bryce Young was a redshirt freshman, right? He redshirted before playing. That's my point. Like, and that's the thing, right? I guess you come to Florida State because we're not the program we're building to being the program we used to be, right? So maybe you thought you could have played, but a lot of these Jets don't go to. I'm not saying all of them because there's talks that Earl Little Jr. might be hitting the portal. If you don't know, he was a high 4-star DB from last year that went to Alabama. He's not getting the burn. There's talks that he might hit the portal. But for the most part, you don't really see the Georgia players or the Miami players or the Ohio State players, freshmen that go, yeah, I'm not playing, I want to leave. They kind of understand like the process. Syracuse QB runs too much in their offense to be full strength. What's his injury? Is it a leg injury? Is it I don't even know his injury, Vontae. So depending on his injury, yeah, especially if it's like a lower extremity injury, that's what makes him dangerous. If he can't run, play him if you want to. That's what makes him dangerous. That's the only reason that you're worried about Cuse is because that guy can run. You see how he ran on us last year. Look at Wake. They played us like grown men, even though most of them are. Exactly. It's different. None of Wake's players were ranked higher than any of our Florida State players. But you know what the difference is? Them boys 24, 25 years old because they've been in, for one, they buy into the Wake Forest system because they are low recruited guys. So they know they got to develop. And then the COVID year gave them that extra year of development. It's different, man. It's different. Wake's out here fielding a JV NFL team in terms of just the age of these players and putting up competition with Clemson. Clemson full of 5-stars. That didn't matter, did it? If it's a concussion, that's even more concerning. Bro, I've only been on lunch for 4 hours. I've only been on lunch for 44 minutes. Plus, don't come for me. You just mad because you can't take a 3-hour lunch. Okay, so it is a concussion. That makes that even more. That makes that injury even more concerning or complicated. If it's a concussion, you definitely don't want to rush a dude back from a concussion. I need a haircut. So yeah, I mean that's just the gist of what's going on. Um, McCall's flirting with the portal potentially. It may or may not come to fruition. We'll see. Either way, I would just say support him in his decision, man. Ultimately, we'll see if he finds the spot that he feels fits him. That's really the best thing I can say about the situation. Corey Durden, what? Corey Durden might be the only player that we would have want back. Fair point. But Corey Durden didn't want to be here. He expressed that vehemently his time here at Florida State. He didn't, like he said when he tweeted, he didn't come to Florida State to play for, what did he say, 3 coaches in 3 years or whatever it was that he said. So Corey didn't want to be here. I guess Durden would probably be the only player that I would say, yeah, if he was still here, he'd be a valuable asset. So that's one player out of how many guys have hit the portal for us? Like 40 guys? I think 1 out of 40 is a crazy ratio, if you ask me. Louisville will be Clemson. Maybe. I missed the hour-and-a-half lunches. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Right. Boy said, line it up. We lined it up. I talked about that for a smidget, but I'm excited to see Octavius Woody where I thought he should have been the whole time. So I'm excited that he's moving over to that defensive tackle room. You know, we could have used Coker. Well, Coker's not a part of this portal talk we're talking about. Jacob Coker transferred in what, 2014 or something? We're talking about since Mike's been here. We're not talking about 8 years ago. Can y'all hear me? Is Sam talking about insane? That's what this whole video has been about. Yes. Sam has actually released a note saying he was hitting the portal, only to delete it and backtrack and say he's not hitting the portal as of right now. He is it was an emotional outburst, whatever he said. Yes, that's what this whole video has been about, is McCall hitting the portal. It's okay. It's okay. I'll catch you up to speed. Patrick Payton is the next superstar. Oh, yes, he is. We could have used Cyrus Fagan. We definitely, True Thompson is not, no. True Thompson, sorry. Griffiths, stop. Fagan, baby. I won't totally dismiss Cyrus Fagan. Again, though, you look at our safety room. Who's Fagan playing over? But True Thompson, bro. True Thompson, hell no. Griffiths, look at our defensive ends. Look at the type of defensive ends we're rotating through. Griffiths don't fit the mold, bro. You put Griffiths on the field and you take who? Patrick Payton off? Hell no. Mental health is often overlooked. Lose the iPhone. I need to get a new iPhone. I'm still rocking the, what is this? 10. And sometimes my fingers cover up the speakers at the bottom. So that's what happens. It's not the phone. Phone works fine. I forget that the speakers be on the bottom. So when I'm holding the phone, my like thumb covers up the speaker. But hit the like button, man. Thank y'all for spending your lunch break with me. For those of you that are on lunch, For those of you not on lunch, don't get fired listening to me, because I can't get fired. Um, and if y'all off today, shout out to y'all. Island Boy, I know I've asked this before, but no one knows what the hell happened to Chambry. He's still on the roster. He's sitting by patiently. We'll see what happens with Chambry once the season's over, and if he decides to stick with it, or if he decides to, you know, explore the portal himself. But he's still listed on Florida State's roster if you go check. So he's on the team. How about that technique by Vance on the pick? I'm kind of glad you brought that up. They did a great job on that particular play. Vance did, on selling the man coverage, and then he broke off. Vance did a great job of selling that he was in man, and he broke it off at the last second and got the pick. So that was a great job by Greedy Vance, fooling the quarterback there. From the game, you could kind of only see one half of the field, but I want to say they were in cover 3, and Vance's assignment seemed to be the flat. Well, I don't remember who the other corner was on that side, but obviously he had the deep, where he had the deep zone. And so they gave a man look. They did a good job giving the man look. So, right, Garcia thinks that slot receiver is going to clear, because the other guy's playing off so bad. He's playing off, and he expects the slot, because he's going inside, so he should have a quick curl route or whatever that route was they ran. Like, I think it was a curl route, or don't remember off the top of the head. But yeah, no, I know exactly what they're talking about. He did a good job of selling man and then bailing at the last second and get the pick. What's this mean for Woodson, man? Woodson should be out of here anyway, bro. Pat Payton, second coming of Peter Boulware. But yeah, Woodson should be out of here. I don't care if Sam stays or goes. Woodson's got to go. Woodson's got to go. Something to look forward to, since you bring up Woodson. Jeff Scott got fired. Jeff Scott has coached under Mike Norvell before. That could be something we look to bring on the staff. I think Jeff Scott would be a great hire if we could get him over here. And Saint says he runs his own business. That's what's up. It's always better to work for yourself than work for somebody else, right? So I ain't mad at you. Yeah. That's what happened, or that's the breaking news for today. Sam McCall flirting with the portal. I would argue that is not that big of a surprise, seeing as how some of us, me being one of them, once Hunter flipped, I was shocked Sam still committed. I'm not even gonna I'm not even gonna lie to you. But he decided to uphold his commitment, and we'll see what happens. We'll see where he goes, if he goes anywhere. Top flight. I actually seen Damien Saturday night. It was at FSU. Damien, who you talking about? Jeff Scott is a damn good recruiter. I'm telling you, that's a hire we should look for. Get Chris Thompson out of here and let Jeff Scott coach tight ends. And then the tight end position is where you should stack one of your top recruiters anyway. Like, I kind of feel like, I know we're jumping the gun here, and there's a lot of stuff that we'll talk about Wednesday. But I think that's a hire that Mike has to make. It's a guy who used to coach for you. I think, would anybody be against it? I don't think anybody would be against that. I think, and there's another one that we can kind of look at. Ernie Sims coaches down that USF team. You got to think, once they get their brand new coach in, whoever that is, right now he is the intern defensive coordinator over there. The only thing about Ernie Sims is he's a linebacking coach. I don't know where, uh, like, I want Woodson gone, but I don't know where Ernie Sims would fit unless Ernie would want to take a demotion and be like a analyst. But figure it out. I'll say that much. Figure it out. Um, Sam ain't going nowhere. We're going to get major time next year. What is whose background? Jeff Scott? I was like, who the hell is they talking about? Scott used to coach the offense under Mike. He was Mike's OC while he was at Memphis for one of those years, if I'm not mistaken. And then he got, what is all of Jeff Scott's coaching background? I have to look it up. But I know he coached under Mike at Memphis for a year or two. Don't quote me on the exact time frame, but I know he was one of Mike's offensive coordinators before. And I think it was that year when they had all those running backs putting up those yards. I think that's when Jeff Scott was there. I can look it up. And he was at Clemson too. Yeah, he was at Clemson too. But I think he coached under Mike before at Memphis. But everybody's saying Clemson, Clemson, Clemson. So I could be wrong. Maybe he didn't coach for Mike at Memphis. I'm almost positive he did, though. Keep Thompson tight end play has been, but okay, we got to recruit. I'm not worried about the tight end play. I'm worried about recruiting. Give me a recruiter there. Move Thompson somewhere else if you don't want to fire him, but I need a recruiter. I think obviously you're not going to bring Scott in here to be the OC. Yeah, don't fire him. If that's the case, make him I don't know, director of. I'll make up a title for him. Make him the director of football relations or something. I don't know. Make up a title for Thompson. Keep him on the payroll. Let all that behind the scenes stuff y'all say. I mean, who's currently serving as our chief of staff? Give him the chief of staff title. Let him do all that background stuff y'all talking about. But give me a tight end coach who can actually go on the trail and recruit. You feel me? Thompson can just be a chief of staff, whatever that's supposed to mean. Yeah, that's what I bang, bingo, or they just hitting nail on the head. If he's doing all that stuff, cool. Obviously, I know I say a lot. What does he do? Like, okay, that's me being funny and saying that in jest, right? Obviously, Mike Norvell values whatever Chris Thompson brings to the table. Chris Thompson is sort of that old head on the staff with a lot of experience. Mike Norvell probably vets a lot of things through him as a advisor and a mentor. I mean, he was the guy that when Mike was out with COVID was the coach in Mike's absence. So obviously, Mike Norvell values whatever it is that he brings to the table. But you can do that stuff behind the scenes. Is my point. He can stay on the staff and do those things with under a different title, and give me a guy who can go out there and recruit something at the tight end position. Scott probably goes back to Clemson. I hope not. Well, I think that is his spot. I don't think he's earned it. I think he is the fullback. The thing is, we don't run a lot of fullback, and no team really runs a lot of fullback. But it's obvious when we do, he's the first option. I think that's his spot. It's just most teams don't run power I or strong I. We don't really run those type of formations anymore. Thompson is the glue that keeps this fine oil machine. Okay. There you go. So this was a solid little hour lunch stream. I actually got more time on lunch. But I don't really have much more to go off of other than Sam McCall hitting the portal and just some of the random stuff that's popping up. We'll see what momentum we can bring after 45-3. It was a glorious weekend. Well, yeah, because no one runs it. I mean, I don't think Nick's wrong. Teams don't practice against it, so how would they know to defend it? Nobody runs it. And that's why hell quarterbacks don't even know how to take snaps under center anymore because they don't do it. Everything's out of shotgun in today's day and age. Everything's out of the shotgun. It's good to see some, like you say, in goal line. It's good to see some old school, as we would call it, football in these goal line situations. I understand the new age of ball and of spreading them out and putting guys in space, but sometimes you just gotta, as Kane Zay says, line it up and put a body on a body and impose your will. And that is what this game is lacking nowadays, in my opinion. So I think Saban has a valid point. You can't defend something that you never practice against. How you guys starting off your week? Mondays suck. Keep using power eye, old school, smash mouth ball. Yeah, Mondays suck, man. I wish I was back in New York. Not really, but really. But that's all I got, guys. Sam McCall flirting with the portal, and we'll see what happens. If he goes through with it, maybe talks to Mike and company, and they figure something out and get him to decide to rethink it and stick with the process and keep climbing, as we like to say. And then we'll talk about Syracuse this coming Wednesday. We'll talk about Cuse and how that game should play out. And the fact that Florida State, man, is looking like that 9-3 prediction I gave y'all could come to fruition. This back half of the schedule has really lined up pretty well, with Cuse reeling, being injured right now. Louisiana is always a gimme game. It's just that Florida game, guys. That Florida game should be a really good football game. Florida probably comes into that game 7-4, going for 8 wins. We probably come into that game 8-3, going for 9. So both teams that have something to play for, both teams, really be out there. They might be throwing up because all that turkey they ate the day prior. I still don't like the fact that they moved this game to Friday. I think somebody should have spoke out against that, but can't do nothing about that now. But that rivalry game, the last game of the year, looks like it could be a good one. Might actually be a good rivalry game come the day after Thanksgiving. Not the desecration that we just saw this past Saturday. 45-3. Gotta love it. I'll catch y'all later, man. Y'all have a good rest of y'all. If y'all still on lunch, me, I am. I'm a good rest of my lunch. I'll holler at y'all later, man. It's your boy POLK over here on 863 Seminole TV. Stay classy, Seminoles. And we got you.